Good evening, class. My name is Denise, and today we will be discussing internet crimes. So, to begin with, cybercrimes are described as any offense relative to a computer system or network. Although there is a plethora of intentions for one to commit these internet crimes, the typical purpose is intrusion and extortion, which may include blackmail or otherwise. It may range from simple infringement to the theft of personal information and later, complete misappropriation of one's banking data. Technological advances have led to the evolution of mankind via a faster and easier way of life in all structures of society. Fundamentally, it has served as an aid to stopping crimes, enforcing laws, and maintaining records. Nonetheless, the more dependent individuals become to these paperless settings, the more vulnerable they become to the adaptable, fast-learning hackers, terrorists, or any people who want to inflict the utmost damage in order to satisfy their own need for self-gratification and to not have to deal with their own poor fiscal matters. The threat is incredibly serious and growing. Per the FBI website, cyber intrusions are becoming more commonplace and more dangerous and more sophisticated. Our nation's critical infrastructure, including both private and public sector networks, are targeted by adversaries. American companies are targeted for trade secrets and other sensitive corporate data, and universities for their cutting-edge research and development. Citizens are targeted by fraudsters and identity thieves, and children are targeted by online predators. Ultimately, today our group will be explaining a bit more on this topic alongside providing examples, giving an essential brief rundown on how to take preventative actions to avoid falling prey to the worlds of internet crimes.
Hello, my name is Claudia, and I will be further explaining exactly what internet crimes are. Internet crime is a crime that involves a computer and a network. The computer may have been used in the commission of a crime, or it may be the target itself. Internet crimes can be defined as offenses that are committed against individuals or groups of individuals with a criminal motive to intentionally harm or harm the reputation of the victim or cause physical or mental health problems and harm to the victim directly or indirectly using any form of modern telecommunication networks such as internets, chat rooms, emails, notice boards. You can also use mobile phones by using Bluetooth, text messages, social media, etc. Cybercrimes may also threaten a person or a nation's security and financial health. Issues surrounding these types of crimes have become a high profile, particularly those surrounding hacking, copyright infringements, unwarranted mass surveillance, child pornography, and child grooming. There are also problems of privacy when confidential information is intercepted or disclosed, lawfully or otherwise, as Deborah Halder further defines internet crimes from the perspective of a gender, specifically towards women. Crimes are targeted against women with a motive to intentionally harm the victim psychologically and or physically using modern telecommunication, such as internet and or mobile phones. Internationally, both governmental and non-state actors engage in internet crimes, including espionage, financial theft, and other cross-border crimes. Activity crossing international borders and involving the interests of at least one nation state is sometimes referred to as cyber warfare.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I'll be discussing examples of internet crimes. When we hear the words internet crimes, what comes to mind is downloading music or movies illegally, cyberbullying, or personal data hacking. But the fact of the matter is, people all over the world use the internet to commit numerous acts of crimes, including trafficking weapons, drugs, prostitutes, to distributing child pornography to online illegal gambling. Internet crimes can be categorized into different groups, including fraud and financial crime, cyber terrorism, cyber extortion, and cyber warfare. An example of cybercrime is non-delivery of merchandise, which involves a seller using a fake auction in order to attract their potential victims to pay for items in which they accept their payments without any intention of actually shipping them the merchandise. Cyber warfare is the use of hacking to conduct attacks on targets, strategical, or tactical resources for the purpose of sabotage. A great example of this is an attack on the national power grid. The national power grid is an obvious strategical resource for the US. If you took down the power grid through a cyber attack, you would not just stop factories from building guns, you would also cause traffic accidents, interrupt surgeries, and other catastrophes, and basically just kill a whole mess of people across the country. A third example would be cyber terrorism, which is conducting violent acts that results in threatening others to achieve political gains through intimidation. And an example would be how Al-Qaeda will use the internet to their advantage to recruit new members and to communicate with their fellow supporters.
Hello class, my name is Victor Diaz. I'm going to explain 3 basic rules that we have to follow in order to prevent a big part of the cybercrime. The first rule is the DNA convention. In order to explain the DNS convention rule, I have to explain 2 simple concepts: the DNS and the IP address. The DNS is just the name that we type in our browser when we try to reach a website. For example, google.com, facebook.com, or something like that. The IP address is just a real address from the internet that comes with 4 numbers. For example, 10.175.3. The first rule, this one we have to be careful, is to use trust sites. These sites are used for criminals. They use create Facebook.es or Facebook.ex. They use this website to create a fake Facebook website. So they trick you to connect to this website and take your personal information or your password and username. They use this information to commit cyber crimes. The second rule that I want to discuss is the rule of the IPS. The ISP is the rule for the default devices. ISP is just an internet service provider. These are like Comcast or AT&T. These providers just give you a default device. With this device, they have the default configuration that is known for all the cyber criminals out there. So first step is replace the hardware. You have to replace your modem or your router for a different one, because the regular one or the default one is basically insecure. The second one is second step is change your default Wi-Fi or connection password. This Wi-Fi for Bluetooth connection for Bluetooth or Wi-Fi could be super dangerous if we don't change the default password. The last one is change the IP schema. All devices use a regular IP schema to connect all your devices at home. So we have to be careful and change these IPs to one that we know or a different one from the default one. The other rule that I want to talk is the rule for the free software. The free software is just a regular software that we download, like games or video editors, free software that come with a different software called malwares. These malwares could be cryptolockers or could be keyloggers. The cryptolockers is just software that encrypt, like the name says, your information, and they ask for a price in order to decrypt this way. And the last one, the keylogger, is just a software that sends a log of all the keys that you enter when you enter a specific website or a specific software. For example, your bank account or your personal information website like Facebook or something like that. So these 3 rules are the most basic rules that we should follow in order to prevent being part of the cybercrime.
Good evening, class. My name is Jocelyn. As we have now learned in this presentation, anyone who surfs or learns to use the internet is prone to being a victim of cybercrime. Be it you, be it your sister, be it your grandma, you have to warn everyone about the cybercrime.
an innocent thought of listening to music on YouTube, or browsing online, or shopping online can be a gateway to someone stealing your personal banking information, or worse, stealing your identity. I, for example, have recently been a victim of identity theft. After the unfortunate visit we currently had from Hurricane Irma, I tried applying for FEMA benefits due to the damage Hurricane Irma caused to the fence in the backyard of my house. To my surprise, when I went to fill out the application, there was already an application submitted on my behalf with my personal information. They had my name, date of birth, social security number, driver's license number, my home address. They even provided information of a fake bank account that they opened under my name to receive said benefits, which were $500. And they also had the debit card mailed to my house. This is just one of the many ways that cybercrime comes to play. In this presentation, Victor has taught us the ways that cybercrime can be prevented. He has taught us that we need to make sure we visit trusted sites, we avoid unfamiliar login requests or pop-ups such as the free softwares. He has also taught us that we need to change the ISP from when we get internet from a new service provider like Bell South or AT&T or Comcast. The ISP needs to be changed to something personal that only you will know. As Denise has mentioned before, there is a plethora of intentions for one to commit internet crimes. The typical sole purpose is intrusion and extortion. With all of this being said, please be smart and safe when you are surfing the web, and inform your family and friends of this as well.